That's the old chat. Let me see if I can refresh it. Look at that pretty face. Alright, I guess we'll put this on. Waiting for Maya to boot up. And then I have a few dozen versions of Seldin's rig, so I gotta find one that I'm working on. I could have sworn I had one with all the face controls hooked up. Let me see if I can find it. And while that's running, I'll see if the little chat window is working. Botrix hasn't been keeping track of my chat, which is kind of annoying. Yeah, that should have popped up, but it didn't pop up in here. Okay. I guess I'll do basic workspace, and I'll do full capture mode. Not a huge fan of doing it this way, just because I like having it isolated to a specific screen. But if I just isolate it to Maya, then it doesn't capture any of the working windows. I have to set up a separate window for each possible dialog box that appears in Maya, which is really annoying. I don't need Photoshop. I guess I'll nuke that. And since Botrix isn't working, I'm going to just close it. And I'll cheat by using my phone on stream to display chat. Not the most efficient way of doing it, but it'll work. That turtle's getting big. Sorry, got distracted. Where is... What did I drop this time? Oh, I dropped that mouse. Lame. I've got a small secondary mouse up here because this monitor doubles as a security screen, but the capture box for that is on a separate thing, and that mouse talks to that. Anyway. And the old chat hasn't refreshed. I don't know why this is still here. Whatever. Alright. I will continue. So I've been wanting to redo this rig for a while. I think I started to in a previous stream many months ago. There's a frame rate mismatch. Is there animation on this thing? There is. I see. Let me see if this one is configured. Let's throw some basic color onto here. Do any of these face controls work? I'll just grab the nose here. Why can't I grab that control? Weird. Face controls aren't hooked up. Only part of the eye is working. I don't want to have to sit here and re-rig him. Such a pain. Not hooked up. Not hooked up. This one's hooked up. Where the hell's that skeleton? I'm gonna hide that one. Okay, so it looks like this one's just all references, so I'm going to hop out of here. Let's go here. Is this hooked up at all? That one's hooked up, but is the face hooked up? Face is not hooked up. The biggest pet peeve that I have is having to do crap more than once. Why is this one hooked up, but the other one is not? Where's the skeleton at? That's the original rig, that's that one. Probably the biggest setback for this game is having to re-rig this guy multiple times. I rigged it once, and then there was something wrong with it, and I had to go back and fix the thing. Let me hide that. That's not hooked up. That nostril's kind of hooked up. Okay, that eyelid is just as bad as the other one. That eyelid's not working. Like, why? Why is it screwed up? Do I have a version of it somewhere that isn't screwed up? Let's see what this bind pose is. I had to redo the face. That's why. There was some errors in his face and I had to fix them. Tell you what, that this cold is for the birds. All the birds can have my cold. So I re-topoed part of the face. There were some issues in the eye, as I recall, with how these bands are. So I made the mesh, I made him in Maya. I brought him over to ZBrush, did some sculpting, had ZBrush re-topo him. But ZBrush does some weird things with like this, and this just wasn't any good. So I had to go through and redo the way that I was. I don't know if I ever finished it though. I've always got so much stuff going on. This is one of those moments where I'm like, I can do the 3D modeling work. I really can. I just don't have the time. And I need to just hire somebody to do this. I'm going to get that mosquito. Like, this game is never going to get done. If I have to keep going back and remaking crap, it's never going to get done. Let's see his old bind pose and see what it looked like. Oh, you're taking forever. Come on now. Oh, that's the really, really old one. Ugh. Okay. I'm sure there's a full retopo over here somewhere. You can see that there's a bunch. What was that one? $2018? That's too long ago. This one I added helper joints. Let's see what this one is. Where is his skin? This one's probably not bound because it looks like the rig is still in progress. So I was making an IKFK switchable rig that had switching and snapping in there. Why is that wrong? It's weird. It's giving me the wrong kind of cursor for that. Okay, so all those are set to show. Where's the body? Maybe it's hidden under one of these. Skeleton, where is skin? That one's still the bad one. Okay. I redid the face, but where's the new face? I already checked that. Let's go from ZBrush. These are all 2019. There's a 2023. Oh, that's terrifying. That's using the old body. That wrist is in a weird spot. Those are all twisted anyway. Okay, so that body is not one that I can use. Lame. This redo was set 11/23. These were done February 24. Yeah, but that one doesn't have the new face. This has the old face. Because I'm pretty sure it's the old face. Yeah, it's the old face. Although that is messed up on the texture. Where's my redo? Redo. Alright, so my guess is I just didn't finish this face retopo. But I really only needed to do the eye. Maybe part of the mouth here. Yeah, because the lip stops there, but it should stop in this corner. Just thinking if there's any reasonable surgery I can do on this eye. It looks like the way the loops are going to connect, that wouldn't be suitable. Let's make this live, and then we'll jump into, where's my toolkit? Quadra. Yeah. Just trying to redo the orbit on that. And that fixed the corner. For the nostril, I'd have to extrude here and pull in. I'm just debating about whether it's worth it. No, I never did that. Go back to here. We need a cut here. That goes into the eye. Within that I can extrude. I don't like this going into the eye though. I could redirect that cut. This has to come out. I could redirect to the nose here. This part of the nose doesn't flex, so I can do that to prevent this. No, the body's set to live. So I can do that. I mean, I don't like that, but I don't really like cut through the eye. If I cut through the eye here, I really should go this way. And I want to pull the nostril in. So if I try to extrude here, what I want to do is keep faces together. I want to turn that off and pull these in, but I have multiple faces here, so I'm going to get little towers on each corner, which I don't want. So I can't do a simple extrusion here. Instead, what I need to do is cut in. It's not going to let me because it's going to be a piece of crap. and then this can build the nostril. But I can probably just do that manually through quad drop. Maybe not even need this edge here. I don't know. But that wasn't the purpose of this. This is going to go down a rabbit hole. What I was doing initially was I was trying to fix this rig because, if I recall, there were issues with the IKFK matching, particularly on the leg. So right now I have this set to FK, and if I were to say grab this arm and move it to like here, and then let's just say I did this pose, and then I took this rig. I think I have the main rig set for this. Oh, I don't have it on the main rig. I just have it here. For me to match this, I need to take this and I need to find the controls on the other skeleton. So I open up the rig, find my IK, FK controls, FK, FK. And there's the FK controls, and I need the FK wrist. There's the FK wrist. So I take that, and then we match the transforms, so match all transforms. And that match looks like it went pretty well. Let me check the elbow placement. I don't think the single control works. I don't think I ever set these up. I never set those up. But I have a main control, and that should work. Okay, so the elbow drops, so I need to make sure the elbow is going to match. So there should be an elbow on the skeleton. There's supposed to be a elbow control. So I gotta find the skeleton. As you can see, this is not very user-friendly. So skeleton, I'm looking for left elbow. Why are these all prefixed with his name? I guess it makes sense if I'm going to have more than one character in a scene, but really it should just be his name here on the rig and then his controls. It's just a weird thing. Usually that happens if you've imported from another scene, which I may have. May have imported him in at some point. I need to go through the hierarchy and fix the naming, because that's just going to be annoying. Anyway, I need the left elbow. That's the right. Left elbow. So I don't have a marker on the elbow to match the position. And I probably don't have one on the knee, if that's the case. So So let me find the left knee. FK, left knee. There isn't a marker on the knee. And as I recall, on this particular rig, the positions here, here, and here where is there's the head controls, right hand controls, left hand controls. That's weird. FK, I have all of that stuff. Why did I not have... I wonder why I don't have the hand controls underneath the IK. Because I'm pretty sure under IK, under here, I probably do. It's just a mess. That's an IK. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm just digging through a rig and trying to not cry as I have to fix some things. There's a reason why it's easier to just rebuild a thing than it is to fix it sometimes. Okay. Skeletons, I see. This one. Okay. That's probably why I named it, because that's his main skeleton, and then I have the IK skeleton, FK skeletons. So under the main skeleton, am I not able to select things? That's annoying. It's just as annoying for me to hack as it is for you to hear it. Why can I not select those? Alright, so the left knee. There's his left knee. On that left knee, there should be a locator, but there isn't. Do I want it to be on the on the main skeleton? The goal is to keep the main skeleton as clean as possible. Did I just lose internet? Streaming still says it's happening. I'm having a buffering situation on the phone though. Oh, there it's back. Weird. Okay, so there's that one. Let's find out where his other thing is. Let me hide the main skeleton. I'll bring up the FK skeleton and see if I have a locator on that knee. Left knee. Nothing on that skeleton. I have them hidden. No, there's no locator on that knee. Because if I want to match the IK hand to the FK position, I would need that. It would be more convenient if I could match the control to another control. Is this control in world space? Yes, it is in world space. So, what I'm thinking I'm going to do. So normally you would put it on the on one of the skeletons, usually the parent skeleton. But I don't want to be on the parent skeleton because then I have to consider that when I export the rig. So I'm going to put it on, instead of putting it on any of the skeletons, I may just put it on the other rig. For ease of use, I don't know if it's going to work out. So let's see. I will need this skeleton's position, but I also need the I need the IK or the FK rig. So for the FK rig, we don't have a knee control. That's over here, but we don't have one hanging out over here. So I need a locator, and I want that locator. Let me hide the body. From an experience point of view, so I went from using groups to using the hierarchy and back and forth. I find this to be mixing hands here, because sometimes when I want to hide something, you know, I just grab it in the group and then I hit H and I hide it. Versus over here, I've got a list here and I can hide it by hitting, you know, a little V. Either one is great, but when you're using both systems, it can be very confusing. Anyway, so I have the rig. This needs to go to the skeleton. I need to hide the skin. Yeah. So there's different skin pieces I have to hide. Alright, I want that locator. This is going to be the left knee locator. This is for FK. And that needs to be snapped to this knee. and I actually want it to have the same position in space as the other locator on the other knee. So if I go back to my IK rig, here's my IK rig, IK controls. Where is the locator for the left knee? Here's the left knee locator. Alright. Let me just copy the name here. I'll use the same naming convention. So that one to this one. Let's match the transforms. Okay, so that's where you need to be. But the issue is this knee is not world space. So I need to do an offset group, so I can set this to 0. Hey, welcome to the stream. I'm digging through my very complicated mess of a rig to fix some issues. Am I using offset parent matrix on this thing? I don't think I am. No, nothing in the offset parent matrix. Okay. Alright. So this is underneath a group here on the left knee IK. That makes sense. So I need to have a group. Make a group here. This is left knee FK offset group. And that needs to be here. I guess I'll match the transforms for that. So that to this. Match transforms. There's the group. Actually, I don't want to match the transforms. I need to match the position, but this needs to be in world space. So I'm going to set this one rotation and scale. I'll set that back to 0, so it's world space. But position should be the same. And then my left knee locator needs to be a child of this. Left knee locator needs to be then frozen. And then this needs to be parented to the left knee on that skeleton. Or I can do it on the rig. I think it's more convenient to have it as part of the rig. That way when I go and dig for it, I can find it easier. But on the other one, I didn't do that. At least I don't think so. No, because that locator, that's inside this group, that is inside the controls, and that's inside the controls. Okay, so I did do it in the controls. So then I'll do that in the controls for FK. Where is my left knee? So hip. So the left knee does have an offset group. That's fantastic. Oh, that's going to get really cluttered. Left knee control. And I did make an ankle offset group. And that one's world space. Okay, so I made an ankle offset. Why did I not make a knee offset? You ever go back and look at a project that you've done and you go, from your current mindset, right? Because the person you are today is not the same person you were, a year ago. You might be similar creatures, you have similar ways of doing things, but you're probably not the same person. But looking at what I did for about a year ago, it looks like I had the correct mindset and putting this on the rig and not the skeleton. But I didn't do the knee. Why did I not do the knee? I don't know. Left ankle offset group. Wow, why do you have a 90-degree offset? Oh, that hurts me. That hurts me so. I guess it would have a 90-degree offset if it were a child of that. It would. Man, it gets so muddled. But it's okay. I'll try not to complain too much today. And that is under the left ankle control. That makes sense. So I will be putting this under the left knee control because, well, the left knee is going to be controlling that position. So my left knee, I'll get this group, and you are going to go under my left knee control. Left knee control. That should be 0, correct? Okay. Whatever you say, bud. And then there to there. So that locator should make life easier for matching that position. And then, theoretically, I'm going to save this as I'll do underscore updated. That tells me absolutely nothing about this file, but if I screw up, I have a backup. Okay. Let me take my FK control here, and yeah, okay, I'm good. I need to take this, that, make sure I have that, and this. We'll set those back to 0. Now this guy does not need to be visible. I can always hide him. It's not super important, and the animator, if another animator ever had the rig, would not need to have this. But it's whatever. I can also kind of lock the controls on here just so that it can't be manipulated. But it would be visible, and I could always just grab it in space. So I think I might do that instead. But before I do any of that, I want to test it to make sure it's going to do what I want it to do. The whole purpose of this is so that I can take this and then set a position, and I'll do something with the ankle. Set IK. And we can see where's the IK skeleton? It must be hidden. It must be hidden. Where are you at? This rig is so bloated. There's the controls. Where's the skeleton? Okay, FK. I'll hide that one. Unhide that. Alright. Not that I really need it, I just want you to see it. So I'm gonna get the main control here. And I want to match that's my left foot control. And the left foot control is matched to the ankle. Wow, I need a better naming convention. But whatever. Okay, so that needs to go there, and I need to match that back to this is why you write like a script for this, and you push a button and it just does it, so you don't have to dig through the rig. It's not very convenient. But the issue with the scripts, they don't always transfer by reference. So if I reference this character in another file, the script doesn't always go with it. So, I don't know. You got me. There are better rig designers out there. So I'll match this to my FK. Where's my FK at? So IK controls, FK controls. I need my left ankle IK. I should probably rename that. Because I'm matching my foot control to my ankle locator, but it would just be better naming convention if I were matching the foot control to the foot locator, because the pivot point of this is on the ankle. Now there is a dedicated ankle control. Yeah, that's the ankle lift. And that one, so I don't know. Naming conventions can matter at some point. Anyway, so I'm going to match this to that. That should be world space. That should be world space, so in theory, matching those should not have any harm. So that got matched. This is all weird because of the knee position. So this knee control needs to go to the other knee. So that knee to this knee. And if I turn on the skin, we got a naked boy. If we switch between, we should have fairly identical positioning. Yeah. And that's the goal. A lot of times when you do a rig, especially if you want to do motion capture, a lot of times it's hooked up. If I go to the character here, definition, this is usually hooked up to the FK rig. So if there's something you need to fix, and like the way the feet are hitting the ground, or if you need a locked position for like the hand needs to be steady on something and the body can move, you want to be able to switch between FK and IK. It's nice if you can go back the other way. So matching IK to FK is easier than matching FK to IK. IK to FK is easier than FK to IK. There, I think I said it in the right order. So that works, and yay. So now comes the tricky part. Let me switch this back to the other rig. I'm in FK. Okay. I'm going to take my FK rig and set this back to 0 on those. Can I using standard matching systems, can I match this to that? Well, I have 3 things I have to match to. I have to match the hip, the knee, and then the ankle. But do I have to match the position? I don't think I need to, but I'm going to see what happens. So I'm going to take, this is the IK? Okay. So I'm going to match this. Normally you wouldn't have both of these on at the same time. You'd have one visible, one not, but whatever. It's just easier if I can do it visually, so I'm going to match this one to that. So modify match transforms. I'm just going to break this off, and I'm just going to match rotation. So that gets me the correct position for that knee, or that hip. And then I need to take my knee control and its knee control, match rotation. And then I need to do the same for the ankle. So my ankle control to its ankle, match rotation. So it looks like I was able to go forward and back, but let's just see if I swap this, if anything moves. So far, so good. Okay, so we can set that back to 0, and then 0, and then 0. It looks like it's slightly off. That one's where it needs to be, that's where it needs to be. By the way, Maya is capable of -0. You may have not have thought possible, but it certainly is here. And there, yeah. Okay, and then for the, let me switch back to IK. My foot control needs to go back to its 0 home position. And then the knee control needs to go back to its 0 position. I'll do the same thing with the wrist here. I need to set that back to 0. And then elbow is 0. Okay. So now I have to do the other knee. Shouldn't be too big of a deal. I can grab this knee. I'm on the FK. I can duplicate it, and then I can move it to the other knee. Where are we at here? Knee control. Let's match the translation. And I will put the other setting on. Okay. I didn't make it a child, huh? So this is going to be the right knee, IK offset, and this is going to be the right knee locator. And you need to be a child of the knee control. And that's 0 in world space. That's wherever it is, nobody cares, and yeah, as long as that's world space, it should be good. Okay. And we do the same thing, we're going to test that. So I'm going to do something goofy with the leg. I'm going to move it like over here. And I will rotate the knee. And I'll even put the heel in a weird spot. Let's move this. Okay. And I want to match. So that to the ankle. I guess match all. And then get the knee control and the knee control, and then match all. And that looks good. Yep, they're identical, they don't move. And then theoretically, I can go back to the IK controls. I don't think my match operator in here actually works. I think I never wrote the script for it. But it would be very nice to have the script set up so I can just hit the button and it goes through. But what you have to do is write, because the FK, the IK has to match two controls. The FK has to match every bone in that sequence. So it's harder to do, that's why it's harder to do FK to IK than it is to do IK to FK. Which means that when you select a control, you have to capture its entire hierarchy, store that into a list variable of some sort, and then look at the IK control and get its hierarchy, and same deal. And then you have to match them. Alright, so I'm going to get switch back to IK. I'm going to set the foot back to 0. And actually, I won't set the foot to... well, I'll do 0 at first, but I'll do something weird with it. So this one, and then that one. Maybe I'll just do like a front kick. Yeah, because that's how legs are supposed to move. And then where's that knee? That knee pivot is over here. That needs to be up here. Cool. Now then you're doing something really weird, but that's fine. That's the whole point of this, is to see if the matching is going to work. And I did go through and set up these. So Ant CGI has a good tutorial on setting up IK-FK matching. So you can always check him out. Is it Ant CGI? CGI Ant? One of those. But yeah, I never finished setting these up. He does it through a proxy. I really like to avoid scripting whenever I can, just because, like I said, sometimes the script file doesn't always follow the character. So if I don't have to script it, then that's great, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the main control here, because I haven't set up my proxies on those. Get that. Okay, so this hip and this hip to that one. We're going to match rotations. So that's good. And then for the knee to knee, we will match rotations. That's good. And then ankle to ankle, match rotations. And they are identical. Great. So now I gotta set up the arm. So I go here, I'll set that back to 0, you back to 0, and you back to 0. What I should do for the animator is lock off these so that you can't modify them. So my left and right knees and their groups, and really the locator and ankle offsets, we don't want to grab those and move them. That would just be an issue. So I'm going to grab all their stuff, and I don't think I care about hiding it, but I definitely want it to be locked, and I also want it to be non-keyable. Make selected non-keyable, because we're not keying these positions. These are just markers for whenever we're doing something. And if I accidentally move this, then it's no longer a reliable position, which is usually why these are hidden, why they're invisible, so you can't get to them. Alright, let's go ahead and grab, where's my FK? I'll switch that back to IK, and I'll grab the knee control and the main foot control, and I'll set those back to 0. Okay, and let's make one for the elbow. So same kind of deal, I need a locator for that, and then I need an offset group for the elbow. So I'll make a locator, and I'll click out here and make a group. Can I paste in? Yes. So left, this will be the elbow. FK, locator. And this will be the left elbow, FK, offset, group. Both of you need to match the translation of that position. So you to the elbow, and I want to make sure I'm using the correct skeleton here. It shouldn't matter, they should be identical, but just in case there's anything off, I want to make sure that I'm matching to the to the FK skeleton here. So you are going to match to the elbow locator. I have it over here. Match translation. Then you are going to go to the elbow. Match translation. So you are there in world space. You are there in world space. You are a child of this, and then you are also frozen. And then for the rig, whoops, that needs to be under FK. And I want the group to be a child of the elbow. So that should still be 0, and then where are you in the hierarchy? There you are. Okay, good. I'm going to duplicate that, update the name. This is called counting your chickens before they hatch. I'm assuming it's going to work because it worked before. And then that will be... Man, that's so annoying. That will be the child of the right elbow. And I gotta make sure that I move that over there. To this. So in theory that should be at the correct spot, and that should still be 0. And then we test it, right? So I'll make this arm do something goofy. I'll save before I break it. The elbow isn't supposed to bend this way, but I'll do it anyway. And then I'll do this. Let's get that. Get the wrist control and match that to the other wrist. Where is the FK? But what I can do to simplify my work is really make those into selection sets. Just like randomly thinking. Anyway, that needs to go to, that's the right side. So wrist to wrist, match all, and then elbow control to the elbow locator, match all. So there's something off about that position. Don't know what it is though. That just gets weird, and I don't know why. That makes me sad. Why is that one off? Oof. I'm gonna stretch here. I don't know why that elbow is off. Unless unless the wrist joints have different orientations. Oh, why is that broken? Oh, man. Why? It looks like it's in world space. This one won't be. But this one will. Let's change out the IK. That one's world space. So is that... Is that elbow in world space? The elbows look identical. The offset group is where it needs to be. Yeah, I'm not sure why. That all looks correct. And I could be sitting here for hours trying to figure it out. I guess I'll set that back to 0. Let's go back to the other left wrist control. Match transforms. That looks correct. Yeah, when I switch, I'm getting a different angle on that wrist. One's got a lower position than the other one. But why? Let's see, 24.107 and the rest is 0. Let me get this one. And that one's all zeros. Do the different skeletons have different orientations? They shouldn't. They should all be oriented the same way. They're clones of each other. This is puzzling. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Digging through this rig to see why it's broken. You can't see my beautiful face because I'm like laying down. Here, I'll sit up. Oh, I've just been sitting for a while. If I look at these two different bones, so this wrist joint has a different position than the other one. So IK wrist. That's the FK wrist. FK wrist is 24.107. I'll just turn on all 3 skeletons here. I guess I'm not hiding the skeletons with the rig. That would be helpful, but not so helpful. Okay, so on the FK it's 24.107. On the IK 24.107, but there's rotations on there. These rotations are 0. Why are those different? Why would that have any abnormal rotations on it? That makes no sense. What about the main skeleton here? So they don't agree on position. Question is why? It's possible that the orientations got screwed up. IK knee. Weird, but okay. I will live with that. This is not set to world space. I must have done an offset group to set those. That one is not world space either. That one's not world space. But those are matching. The left ankle IK is in world space. But the left ankle joint is not is not. Left. Welcome to the stream. I'm digging through this rig trying to figure out why it's broken. That's the wrist. Where's the left ankle? Left ankle is not in world space. It's in the joint space. That's weird that I did it that way. It's okay. $37.883. $37.883. So they have the same position and orientation there. Let me set the arm back to default position here. And let's turn on the appropriate rig. We'll set these back. Okay, IK wrist is not in world space. It's pointing toward the bone here. Excuse me. 24.107 and rotations of 0. The FK wrist . 24.107 and the rotations are 0. So they look like they're in identical space. Now the big thing here is that we have rotations that are on under control. You can see the blue here. On the FK wrist, we've got rotations and translation. It's weird. Why would I do translations on a on an FK joint? Why would I do that? I don't think there's any reason to. I'm trying to think of my previous entity's reasoning for doing it that way. These are parent constraints. Parent constraint, parent constraint. Instead of, we only need orient constraints on an FK rig. Because we're not moving position, we're only moving rotation. So I don't know why I did it that way. Whereas on the IK wrist, on IK wrist we only have rotation, which makes sense because the IK is handling position. Where is the IK ankle? IK left ankle has no control on it. FK ankle has controls under rotation and translation. Again, it's a parent constraint, but I don't know why I did a parent constraint for that. There's not really a good reason for it. I don't think that's going to hurt anything. There's just no reason for it. Just because FK is rotations. IK has some translations, but the translations that an IK handle are going to be on the... So if I go to IK over here, so this is going to control translation and rotation relative to that IK handle. Excuse me. And that makes sense. So why is that one getting weird controls? Let me do something simpler. Let me take the wrist here, and I'll just move the wrist like this. And then I'll go and switch it and get the wrist control, and I want to match that. So I gotta match all these. Where's the main skeleton? So main skeleton, FK, IK. So main skeleton we're going to hide. I want to take the shoulder and we're going to match to the IK shoulder, so match rotation. take this and that, match rotation, take this and I can't tell the difference between the joints. Probably a good thing. But I'm going to hide the FK skeleton. And then match rotation. Huh. And then we'll do, we'll flip this. Any popping? I don't see any popping. Nope, that looks like it's working. Okay. So maybe it was just like a weird angle. It was just so bizarre that it couldn't match it. It looks like it's doing it correctly. Alright, we'll set this and the elbow back to 0. Even though I think they both already are. So matching FK to the IK worked. I'm going to try again matching the IK to the FK. And yeah, we'll just keep the same pose. Except this time I will do it. I'm going to rotate this down just a little bit. That way there's just something different in here. Come here, you. Now we're going to match the IK wrist control to... What do we got in here? Matching wrist control to wrist control, correct? I'll do match all transforms. And the elbow control to the elbow control. Match all transforms. And does that match? There's a slight pop on the wrist. It's just subtle, but it's noticeable. Well, that's going to bug me. That little bit of a pop was going to bug me. I don't know why it's doing that. Only thing I can think of is there is a difference in orientation between those two joints. It might be just a very subtle difference in orientation. But I'm able to match the IK to FK, that works. Or no, FK to IK works. IK to FK is twitchy. I'm going to do this. On this frame, I'll do key selected, And then on the next frame, I will do there we go. And I can just scrub between them. What is it that's changing? But what is it? I think I'm gonna have to go back and look at the joints themselves. So, put both skeletons on. Let's do select all by type, joints, and then we'll throw on the local axis rotations. And you can see here those are identical. Those appear to be identical. But the wrists are just slightly off. Yep, but I think that's what it is. Let's set these back to 0. So this to 0. And the control to 0. And then let's get the FK skeleton. Let me get rid of these animation frames. This is going to fight me the whole time. And get this, that, and that. Set that back to 0. Oh man, that sucks. Here they look identical. They're identical. What about the controller? This controller is in line with the joint. What about the FK controller? Or the IK? So this control is not in line with the joint. There's a slight offset. And that makes sense because the IK handle on your wrist should match the control. And what I did for the ankles is I set up offset groups. Since those are weird, I'm pretty sure I have an offset group on the ankles. So that ankle is there, set to world. The offset group is set to world. Foot group, that's the knee. Those are both set to world. And those are set to world to match the IK. And I'm not matching when I'm matching IK to FK on this rig, I'm matching to the to the locators that I set up, which means I'll probably need to do. Alright, so let's go and do an FK rig. I'm going to control G to make a group. It's going to be the left wrist. FK offset group. I need a locator. I'll just copy that. Left wrist locator. Okay. You're going to be a child of that, and I can freeze you. You are going to be to here, and we're going to match translation. So you're there, and then the locator is there. Okay, and then you need to be a child of the wrist. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and just pose the arm in a weird position again. Oh, this way. Now he's a Nazi. We'll pose the wrist. Danielson, wax on, wax off. Walk like an Egyptian. And then we'll get the IK. And we'll match the IK to the wrist locator. There we go. I matched the wrong thing. And then I gotta match the elbow to the elbow locator. And now let's check to see if that pops. There is a pop. But it's really close. Like, the wrist doesn't move at all. Doesn't look like that forearm moves any. No, forearm does move. I guess we'll go back and set the... Whoops. Set a key. but we can see what's going on. So it's popping between those two positions. The question is, why are those